Back here, first things first, we're going viral. So Jacksonville State opens their season tonight, but it's the preseason hype video that's receiving the most attention. So dare I ask, what in the what is going on here, Steve?
Oh, y'all gotta wait. Yo, man, we're ready for football. We're trying to get the fans ready. Jacksonville State letting people know about their program. So a little paint. You know, of course, their colors are red and white.
Top 10 FCS team. That's a good team in FCS.
Yes, no doubt. No, they got some good athletes. They got some good transfers and stuff, too. Jacksonville's a good place to spend your college year.
Oh, but there's a reason we're showing this, and that's it.
Big jiggles. Hashtag big jiggles.
Shit, I hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah. There we go.
Look.
I thought it was a woman.
Yeah.
Right off the bat for a split second.
No, that's all. Hey, no. He has some female features.
But, no. And well, turn around.
Listen, man, I'm not into body shaming like you two workout warriors.
No. Nobody here is body shaming. That wasn't body shaming for a split second.
Okay. But body shaming is when you go out of your way to critique someone
what Jenna does
who wasn't even trying to.
Right. No. That's just fact. So. Here we go. Time for stories to start your morning. Moving on. As LeBron James gears up for season 17, he has a message for his critics who think he might be washed up this year, posting a video on his Instagram with the hashtag #WashedKing. Nick, what'd you make of LeBron's post?
I don't make hardly anything about the post. I'm glad it wasn't a Taco Tuesday post. I think those have probably run their course. But I do think LeBron is correct that he is, for the first time in forever, going into a season seemingly underrated, with his team's chances seemingly underrated. So I think that is very interesting. The fact that he has played 55 basketball games since his mid-June of 2018, I also think is very interesting as far as what level of rejuvenation we will see from LeBron this season.
Okay, LeBron. Year, what, 17?
Year 17.
Rejuvenation. Okay. Yeah. I'm not worried at all, because as an athlete, when you get towards the end of your career, you just use certain things as motivation. As far as them being an underdog, they can't be an underdog. I think they're the second favorite to win the NBA championship behind the Clippers. Now, as far as LeBron being the LeBron we saw in those 4 finals against the Warriors, that right there, people are questioning, man, is that LeBron still available? I believe he is.
All right, on to football now. In a recent Sports Business Journal poll, Tom Brady was named the most marketable player in the NFL. I guess winning 6 Super Bowls and being devilishly handsome pays off after all. See, you surprised by this?
No, absolutely not. He is the marketable. He is the face of the NFL. And when he leaves the NFL, we're going to have to find another face. Patty Holmes potentially can do that. But no, Tom Brady, he should be the face of the league. The league has benefited in his 20 years. He has dominated like no other player that I've ever seen. That's why he is the GOAT.
It wouldn't make much sense for anyone else to be at the top of this list. This guy has been doing it the longest at the highest level for the best organization. And he plays more games than everyone seemingly every year, because they make it to the AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, so he's more visible. Patrick Mahomes, who else would be the candidate to be the face of the league? I think a lot of people thought it was going to be the guy who's no longer in the league, and Andrew Luck. So it's very interesting to see. Baker Mayfield, I would imagine, is also a candidate for that when Brady finally retires in 2024.
I love when you look at the watch.
Yeah, to see what year it is.
As Ezekiel Elliott continues his holdout, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones isn't concerned about him missing regular season games, saying, "We want Zeke when we get to the playoffs." Chris, what was your reaction to Jerry's comments?
Jerry only has leverage if he truly believes I don't mind him missing. Because if he just thought getting through training camp and holding out, because typically it switches to the player's advantage. But if he really believes this team is good enough to get through the first month of the season, then he continues to have the leverage over a player who's got 2 years left on his deal.
And the flip side of that is Zeke's leverage is, y'all won't make the playoffs if I'm not out there for a minimum of 14 games. Jerry can say all he wants, oh, we just want him fresh for the playoffs. I do not know a football person in America who thinks the Dallas Cowboys are a double-digit double-digit win team if Ezekiel Elliott is not on the team. He's the best player on the team. He's the most important running back in football. So Jerry can say all this, but I'm not, in this instance, I'm not buying what he's selling.
Maybe Tony Pollard's family. Maybe they.
Tony Pollard's family. That's a good. Yeah, that's correct.
Sticking with running backs, when Dave Gettleman drafted Saquon Barkley 2nd overall and said he was, quote, touched by the hand of God, expectations were at an all-time high. Saquon followed it up by winning Rookie of the Year. Now the Giants' Pro Bowl running back has taken it even further, saying he believes he's the best running back in the NFL. CC, is Saquon right?
I was shocked that he even said this because not only did Gettleman have it right as far as his athletic ability, as far as his leadership on and off the field, he has shown just to be a really poised human being. In high school, his classmates talked about what a different person he was as an athlete, not a prima donna. In Penn State, it's well documented in the weight room, holds almost every record, explosive exercises, holds almost every record in the weight room. And last year, we saw him as far as interviews, we saw him on the field. He's got no weakness. He got no weakness. As a young player, he's the leader of the New York Football Giants, even though Eli is the quarterback. To me, I'm a little surprised that he said this because he doesn't have to say it. He's in the 2nd year in the league. He's in a rare class as far as rookies with 2,000 yards from scrimmage. Him, Edgerrin James, and Dickerson. Those are the only 3. He's one of 3.
With 2,000 yards from scrimmage and 10 touchdowns.
And 10 touchdowns. So right there, he knows he's rare. Let your play speak for yourself. And him saying that, it doesn't match all the other things he's done or the other things he's not said. So for me, just slow down just a little bit because that doesn't add up. If you had asked one of the other running backs, if they had said that, I wouldn't be surprised. If Zeke said that, if L. Bell had said that, Todd Gurley, I would have been a little surprised because he's quiet also.
Well, and so whether I see his point that it seems a little more boastful than we're used to from this player is a fair one, but I also don't think he's wrong. I think that Zeke has an argument he's the best running back in football, but Zeke right now is out of the country. So at least temporarily we can scratch him off. Todd Gurley, to me, was the guy, but I'm legitimately concerned, and I think a lot of people are, about Todd Gurley's knee. So until we see Todd Gurley play 4, 6, 8 healthy weeks of football post-Super Bowl, I think we can scratch him off the list temporarily. And Le'Veon Bell was right there and on that short list, but Le'Veon Bell hasn't played football in a year. Now, I think Le'Veon Bell's going to be excellent again. I don't think the year off is going to have turned him into a inferior player, but we got to see him play. And what Saquon did last year was special. C mentioned rookies with 2,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. He had 5.8 yards per touch. That's the most by any rookie with at least 350 touches since the merger. Only Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, Zeke, Gurley, Christian McCaffrey, and Alvin Kamara had more first downs last year. And that might be the most important thing other than touchdowns you can do in this league, move the chains. And he did it on an offense that was very constricted, that wasn't getting a whole bunch of first downs, that was bottom 3 in the NFC in first downs, and he got 80 by himself. So I do think Saquon has, it's very short, but the resume to make the argument, yeah, I'm the best back in football, even if it is a little surprising to hear him say it because of, he sat here or via video and talked to us, and we were all taken aback by, you're 22 years old, how poised, how mature, how down to earth he was. But I don't think he's wrong in his statement.
How much will the quarterback situation in New York affect Saquon Barkley, whether it is Eli or Daniel Jones?
I don't think it's going to affect him too much because the defense is right now, for the Giants to beat them, they're going to have to be able to throw the ball. They're going to put bodies at the line of scrimmage. Now, they had OBJ for part of the season last year. That was able to keep some of the heat out of the box where he had less people to be able to run against. But no matter who the quarterback is of the Giants, I don't care who. They can bring back Phil Simms or any other great that they think they have. Stop. Saquon Barkley will be the game plan from week number 1 and will be the game plan week number 17 because they won't be in the playoffs after that. So, yes, stop the Giants. You must stop their running game regardless of who their quarterback is.
To me, it's less about the quarterback and more, at least in the beginning of the season, about their just paucity of weapons in the wide receiving corps. Golden Tate's hurt. Golden Tate's suspended. They've had a couple injuries. And so while they already were more focused on the running game than the passing game, if you're facing facing the Giants. That first month of the season, I would imagine every wide receiver is going to be getting one-on-one matchups with 7 and 8 men in the box.
Some more focus placed on Saquon.
100%, because not that Golden Tate is a deadly weapon, but he's a viable threat. But he's not going to be out there for a month. We've talked about their other injuries.
When he gets on the field, they could be 1-3 at best.
Right, and so so for the first month of the season, he's going to be facing stacked boxes all year, particularly that first month of the season.
All right, let's move on to the